many things. Activist, teacher, occasional fire stopper, and are you keeping track of these ancestral conduits, homemade nut butter enthusiast, reformed former misanthrope. Look, the misanthrope thing, I understand, is a messy, conflicting amount of my own influences, okay? That's what I'm told. But first and foremost, he is a writer. Graduating from SFSU in 2011 with degrees in both creative writing and La Raza studies, Dylan has been published in various literary magazines, both in print and online, and has read at many well-established Bay Area venues, including the Young Museum, the Galleria de La Raza, and the Berkeley Poetry Slam. After 2 years living abroad and teaching in Southeast Asia, he has made the conscious decision to slowly starve, moving back to the Bay Area to focus on writing full-time. Hinged around the idea that a lack of growth implies the onset of death, he seeks to develop and progress himself, his world, and his writing in any way that he can. Dylan Amaro-McIntyre, ladies and gentlemen, here he comes.
Yeah.
Hello? This might be a bit of a U-turn. Beginnings. It begins something terrible. The sort of wrath of God, whip crack, closed fist temple shatter that sees your grandkids trying to wander their way back from. Then comes the ringing, the hollow song in bone, more white noise than melody. My frame shifts back to scaffolding. My world tries to re-step back from its shadow, to find its way back to form. Light comes back first, too fast, all at once, blinding like the bathroom at 3 a.m. The light and blood with it, I can taste it. I realize I'm ripping holes in my cheeks as teeth challenge each other. Lockjaw, flesh caught, neither side gives. The blood rolls down from my chin, flesh broke to pulp, and then reality snaps back just in time for me to see him swing again. The second impact hurts all the same, but my body's ready now. An eye twitch, small, maybe. A sharp pull as my face tries to turn, but otherwise I'm still. In fact, I couldn't move if I wanted to. He isn't hitting me. He never did that I can remember, though people assure me I'm mistaken in that regard. He's hitting my mother. I've never met this man before now, this imposter, this mirage of demon thrust and child tongue. He's a blur. Hard to keep in focus, but it all slows down when he swings. And the impacts, white hot steel, flames lash over rock, rock become black, rock turn temple ruin. Smolder, panic, retreat. I never see the impacts. I never see the fists land. If I do, the image is switched out before it can calcify, before it can be made into memory, quickly replaced, switched out with snapshots of violence, all the same in the impersonal image of bodies torn, of feasts of fire on flesh, anything to cover over the image of my mother, my father, my mother, breaking, broken, flesh to pulp, blood, naked meat, become meat. My mother, my mom, my mother, my mom, mom. It ends in sweat, cold, in dreamscapes tortured and scorched, in memories that read more like scrapbook than document. It ends in confusion, though to be honest, it hasn't ended yet. So I'm guessing, projecting, I'm hoping and I'm praying, but I don't really know. I can't really know. All I can know is how it won't end, and I promise you now, it won't end like it started. Sorry. As a writer, the pen's long been my suture, and the page my space to look at my traumas in the face fearlessly. But when I come on stage to present my demons, sometimes I feel like it's very pretentious to just offload it onto an audience, so if that got, sorry. And that being said, I'm going to read another poem about pretty much the exact same thing, and then I'll move on to lighter material. This is called Something the Shade of October. When I was 19 years old, my father died, and I've since rewritten him more times than I can remember. Colored him heroic, closed shut every whiskey bottle he opened, and rewrote my mother's bruised skin back to brown. I've been kind. Dressed his story in poetic such that muses would blush at the beauty and truths his life contained. I've been cruel to us both, dug through dirt and dark to find him, lifeless limp equal as all post-transition are. Drug him out, take back his eyelids, tried to revive him, filling hollow lungs with hollow words and helping him recite them with chest compressions, trying to settle petty old scores that were better off left in the ground. Somehow, I keep coming back to him, bringing him back to have something to come back to, when the truth is none of my revisions have ever rewritten my father back to form. Fiction is all I have left to wrestle with. Lighter shade. This piece is called Genesis. When God made you, it was of sun ribbon, maize, and the infertile char of earth burnt to primer. When God made you, it was with hesitation, for she knew old gods long dead in you were born again. When God made you, she birthed cesarean, because when you broke flesh to flow, it was feet first, hard labor. See, God didn't make you. She screamed, and you echoed into body and being.
Yeah.
So in my haste trying to get here, and I feel unprofessional even admitting this, I forgot some of my poetry. So I'm going to do a few older pieces because I remember them, and I don't have to read them. So this is called Letters for Hernán Cortés. We were never a choice. You were the weed turned root of my foundation, seed sown in stolen soil that grew into pale-skinned Chicano and a little voice named, I hate myself. You named languages dead as you severed tongues and hollowed out the whispers of conch shells, replacing echoes of time and elementals ancient with man-made silence. You shattered obsidian, preached machetes and first world prices, changed art to ingot, changed adobe brick to corrugated aluminum rot of jungle, changed the white shadow I was running from into long nights spent scouring the mirror for something to exhume, staring into a dark pool of reflection of preteen searching, looking for anything I could remove and throw to waysides on my way to a past I could be proud of. But fuck you, because you are not me. You are the... I am... Because you are not me. I am organic crossbreeding of maize and potato famine, complicated, with problems rooted deeper than some weed turned fracture in my foundation. I am cracks turned mosaics. I am miscegenation. Look at what you have become. Thank you. This is called, anyone in love? Cool. This will read better. This is called Mythos. Love does not ask where it's going, and often forgets where it's been. The myth is that love is forever, that love spans lifetimes and lingers long after we've returned to the soil and sod. The truth is that love is as fleeting as the moments that contain it, moments that carry eternities cradled between bodies and breasts, moments that stretch to eternities like the forevers found between two mirrors, no words, just time. Like the night between the stars. Each moment a lifetime, a sandcastle, a house of cards, an ellipsis in prose. Each moment a flash of color, swallowed by a swell of gray, a smile, a kiss, a season, a song. Each moment a heart, stayed, still, between beats, laid naked in sacrifice. If the myth is that love is forever, I can count myself fortunate, for I believe wholeheartedly in myths. If the reality is that love is fleeting, I'm okay with that too, because I haven't met a reality I was born to yet that's not worth transcending. So this next piece is about 2 days old. So I'm kind of close to it. It might not be great or good, but I had this idea for this piece that I was going to resolve these issues that are kind of lifelong in the poem, but I haven't resolved them in life. So I wrote out to basically the point my life has informed me to, and then realized that trying to finish the poem as I thought I could would be like trying to have a chicken without the egg. It wasn't going to work. So I think it reads half finished, but I also think that makes sense. It's called Momentum. A curandera once teased my past from my palm. Waving sage into smoke, she told me she could see ancestors, rows of them, dark eyes set to smolder even in death, and she said to me, all of them, men. We are born in motion, shafts set to open flight from bowstring beginnings. Our very first thoughts are forward and rhythms our ancestors walked to. From first, we're taught to follow their missteps, pushing us toward the same cliff edges they crested as their flights turned to folly. Family is momentum, is a motherfucker. By the time friction slows us down, most have already fallen too far to recover course. For life is no weightless thing. It's heavy and viscous and sticks thick in wing feathers, clogs throats to clot with words left rotting unspoken. It settles into saddle ridge that curves neck to backbone bent with heft of lessons distilled from every scar hidden in hard tissue. The residue rendering wingspans rigid. Life is friction against movement. The abrasion of Newtonian time bringing all lines to curved ends and waves breaking in currents that still eddy in grandchildren. That same curandera who told me of the men who made me, lockjawed vibrations of bent scalp powerful, pushing their woman to margins even her mystic could not touch, told me I had to swim upstream, updraft against winds my past had flushed under wing if I wanted to set right my river, and I told her, I don't know what the fuck any of that shit means. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Respectfully, of course. And like all great mystics, what answers she could provide were vague. Shapeless as sage becomes smoke, frustrating, because somehow, somewhere, beyond comprehension, I knew she was right. I know my roots only 2 men deep on either side, but I can tell you with certainty there is near no pride waiting to be found there. My father was lounge chair blackouts before noon, a pacifist whose favorite time to fight was just before sunrise, painting mom's skin blue like watercolor grays of flesh burnt to shade on Hiroshima stonework. His father, a man only at home when at war who couldn't help but bring war home with him, and it's no better on mom's side, trust me. Her father, drug king, whose temper trained me well not to cry. Her father's father, Amador, the lover who left his lover to raise the man who forced migration on Miwela and 5 young kids. And worst of all, every one of them stronger men than I have ever been or could ever claim to be. So tell me, where am I supposed to find the strength upstream these motherfuckers? So that's what's very quick. Sorry. Nuevo Mundo, New World. If the 4 winds really do meet in America, blends burning brighter than dull browns and pale grays, it is only because this earth has already been burnt to primer.